Welcome to Channel Today in History. In today's video we will talk about the day, September 4th, 476, fall of the Roman Empire. The fall of the Roman Empire and the genesis of the idea of Europe coincided with the most important geopolitical shift in the Western Mediterranean during the first millennium of our era. The Roman Empire was going through a difficult situation, so it was essential to negotiate with the barbarian peoples, meet their economic requests, and even agree on the conditions for their temporary settlement in Roman territory. In practice, the Western Empire had ceased to exist in the western part several decades earlier. Therefore, the deposition of the last Roman emperor was only the final consequence of a slow process of dissolution, characterized by the apathy of Roman society with respect to foreign policy, and the inability of the state to contain the barbarian invasions, as well as by the transformation of political structures and social aspects of the empire, conforming to what was called late antiquity. The deposition of the last Roman emperor, Romulus Augustus, by the Caudalo Odoacer, of the Germanic tribe of the Heruli, in September 476, had almost no echo in society at the time. It is likely that this fact is related to the absence, at that time, of a true Germanic literature that would have extolled it as a national achievement. The barbarian invasion was considered the main reason for the disappearance of the Western Roman Empire, as well as the destruction of the ancient civilization. In ancient historiography, the settlement of large masses of population is confused with the violent invasions that, in reality, are just its consequence. The first testimonies of migrations of peoples are from the empire of Marcus Aurelius, 161 to 180. Once the great internal conflicts of the first half of the 2nd century were suffocated, Burgundians, Catos, Marcomanns and other peoples who inhabited the border regions of the empire found some very unguarded provinces militarily, and forced Rome to open several fronts of struggle. In places where they failed in political and military terms, the Romans had to carry out the first treaties that allowed the settlement of entire peoples in their territory. In a short time, these great incursions from eastern territories were accompanied by massive ones in the west, led by Goths, Alemanni, Franks, Quadi and Sarmatians. Some barbarians were absorbed into the Roman army through pacts, and others continued to plunder. By the end of the 3rd century, the practice of donating territories to the barbarians had been consolidated after they had violently pressed the borders, in the way that the Romans at the time understood as an invasion. The big invasion started in the year 401, with the eruption of the Vandals. Then the Visigoths arrived, in 403, the Swabians in 406, the Burgundians in 409, and Alaric's Visigoths sacked Rome in 410. This time the invasions were not simple sacking expeditions, as the invaders settled in the territory, the Swabians in Galicia, the Visigoths in Hispania, the Franks in Gaul, the Ostrogoths in Italy, the Burgundians in the Alps, the Vandals in Roman Mauritania, etc. The political crisis in Rome was such that the Visigoths even fought in the name of the Roman Empire. By 476, the Roman Empire had collapsed in the west, but would remain in the east for another 977 years. Did you like the video? In the description you will find the blog link with the full article. Give an incentive by subscribing to the channel, liking, commenting, and sharing with your friends. Hugs. Until the next.